Once upon a time, a mummy in midsummer was sitting on her eggs. She'd been waiting a long, long time and she was very, very tired. She got off the egg. Oh, I think I can hear them cracking, she said. No sooner had she said such a thing, they started crack. Out popped 1, 2, 3, 4 beautiful, fluffy little ducklings. Oh, weren't they magnificent? Oh, and one more makes 5. Oh, but there was one little duck egg that just wasn't doing anything. Come on, my lovely, she said. And eventually that little duckling heard its mummy. Crack! Oh, and out popped. Well, she loved her little duckling for sure, because mummies always love their children. But this little duckling was a little bit different from the other ducklings. Oh. And this duckling was a different colour. But the mummy loved the duckling all the same. Come on, darlings, let's go and have a swim. So they all went to the little water and they were having a swim. But each time they had a swim, all the other ducks said, oh, she's a fun. Look at your babies. You've got 5 beautiful ones, but oh, look at that funny looking one. They're a bit different. How can you love that one? Well, I love it because it belongs to me and I'm the mummy. Doesn't matter what you look like, it's what's in your heart. Oh, said the little one, I'm fed up. I feel so alone and nobody wants to play with me. That's because you're a bit different. You're not like us. We're all fluffy and yellow and beautiful. You're just funny. Oh. Well, I think I need to go on. Nobody's kind, and I don't feel loved. By Mum, love you. By my brothers, I'm so sad, and my sisters that you're so mean, but I can't feel safe here. So eventually, he walked and he found a farmyard. Oh, he's a funny-looking thing. What do you think he's doing here, then? Said the goose. Oh, I don't mind him, really. If he stays here, then we can laugh at him all the time. The little, tiny, ugly duckling did not like it at all. Even the mouse was cruel. So he walked into the forest, and then he saw a little cottage. In this little cottage lived a lady called Mabel. She was very kind, but she had a pet hen and a pet cat. You're a funny-looking thing. Every time I look at you, you make me laugh. What do you think then, Mildred? You can stay here a bit and then, we can laugh at them all day. Mabel was very kind, but eventually, when it got dark, the little tiny, very sad and very lonely, I've got to escape. So he flew and he flew and he flew to a nearby marshland. It was autumn now. Summer had passed and autumn had arrived, and he had found a marshland with not a lot in it. Here he sat all alone and very, very sad. I think, he said, it's better to be on my own than to be sad with not very kind people or animals. They're not my friends, they're just mean. So he travelled. Because it was so very cold, he decided to move on. Well, the days turned shorter and also colder. The next season was the winter time. That poor ugly duckling again was all alone, and it was so cold outside. There was no warmth and no friends, and eventually he decided to close his eyes. He closed them and closed them for a very long time until he could hear the birds singing again. "Oh," he said, "oh, I think perhaps I might try and move on to that pond that I used to come from." So he walked along, and here we are, getting back to springtime. "Oh, there's the moorland that I spent a lot of time." And he flew, and oh, and there's that cat who wasn't very nice to me, and the hen who poked fun at me. And he flew, and oh, he remembered his horrible time at the farm. Oh, and how mean those animals were. He eventually got to the pond. He remembered it from all those ducks, and he recognised his mummy duck. He looked into the water. He was very, very tired after all that flying. And you know what he did? When he looked into the water, he saw his reflection. Do you know what that is? It's like the image looking into a mirror. And there he looked, and what did he see? He didn't see a duckling or even a duck. He had grown into a swan, which means all that time, and everybody was laughing at him, he wasn't even a duckling at all. He was, in fact, the most beautiful swan ever. He had grown into something very beautiful, but he didn't ever forget all those animals who thought he was so ugly. He wasn't ugly at all. He just belonged to a different family. Anyway, he was able to live on that pond. And eventually, he found a friend. And you know what those friends did? They stayed together all of their lives, as swans do. They didn't. They stayed together, and you know what? They became mummies and daddies themselves. And they loved life. And nobody ever made fun of him, ever again.